Hi everyone and welcome to another build tutorial. In this video I'm going to show you how to build an underwater base in the style of an ancient ruined pyramid. This base contains a floor for crafting and smelting, a storage area, an enchanting table, a bedroom and even 2 farms. I really hope that you enjoy this video. Don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing if you're new here. If you're already subscribed, then click the bell icon so that you never miss a new video. The names of the texture pack and shaders that I've used can be found in the description box below if you're interested in downloading them. We're going to start by building the base of the pyramid using smooth sandstone. This will be 28 blocks long at the left and back and 17 blocks long at the front and right, joined together by a window which we'll mark out with sea lanterns in the ground. You can follow the graphic that I showed earlier if you're building this to see the exact block placements for each section. We will now start building the walls of the pyramid, starting with the wall to the left of the window space. Add a block in the corner and build around this, then come across by 7 blocks in total and add 2 blocks of light blue stained glass with another 7 blocks next to them. Repeat this on the next layer, but this time make the glass longer by 1 block on each side. Do the same for the next layer, but add an extra block at the end of the row as shown. After this, the next 2 layers will have the glass coming in by 1 block on each side to create a diamond pattern. Make sure that you bring the corner in by a block on each layer like I have done so that it slopes upwards to make the pyramid shape. Add a layer of smooth sandstone above the window and then starting at the other end, come across by 3 blocks and add 2 blocks of blue stained glass. Bring the glass out by 1 block on each side on the next layer and back in again for the layer above, adding an extra block of sandstone at the end here. After this, add 2 more layers of smooth sandstone but make them come in by 1 block each time as this will be the top of the pyramid. We will now move on to the next wall. Start this wall by placing 5 blocks of smooth sandstone in total with 2 blocks of blue stained glass, then light blue, then blue again, each with 5 blocks of sandstone in between. Bring the corner in and make each of the glass sections come out by 1 block on each side, filling the rest in with smooth sandstone. On the next layer, bring the blue glass in by a block but bring the light blue glass out by a block on each side. Carry on bringing the light blue glass out on each side until it is 10 blocks across, filling in the areas next to it with smooth sandstone. After this, start to bring the glass back in by a block on each side until it is 2 blocks across, creating a large window with 2 small windows on either side. Then add 2 final layers of smooth sandstone, joining up to the top layer from earlier to finish off this wall section. The next wall will be exactly the same as the one that we just built, so 5 blocks of smooth sandstone, then 2 blocks of glass and so on to create the large window with 2 smaller windows on either side again. If you'd like to see the finished shots from this build and other small builds and tutorials, then head over to my Instagram. The link can be found in the description box below. Finish off the wall by joining it to the other side at the top and we can move on to the final section. This is exactly the same as the shorter wall that we built first, so follow the same steps that we did at the start, coming across by 7 blocks to begin with and then adding 2 blocks of light blue glass and so on. If you're building this in survival, I highly recommend that you use a potion of water breathing or have a helmet with the respiration enchantment. It would also be useful to have aqua affinity and depth strider. Finish the main structure of the pyramid off by joining it together at the top and we'll move on to the main window, which is there to look like a chunk has been taken out of the side of the pyramid at some point in time and has been repaired with glass. On top of the sea lanterns, place light blue stained glass going up by 1 block each time along the 2 block sections until you reach 6 blocks tall. Build up by 5 blocks on top of the middle 3 blocks and then repeat the same pattern back down to the other side, starting at 6 blocks high and going down to 1. This will be the front section of the window and we'll look into the lower floor of the pyramid. 1 block back from this window, add 2 blocks, then 3 blocks and then repeat this on the other side as shown. 1 block back from this again, add 2 blocks on either side with 1 block joining them together in the middle to complete the window. The final thing that we need to do here now is to add smooth sandstone slabs along the bottom of the window to finish it off. At the very top of the pyramid, build up by 2.5 blocks in each corner using smooth sandstone and smooth sandstone slabs. There should be a 4 block gap in between each pillar. At the top of each pillar, build out by another 2 slabs on both sides. And then fill in the 4 block gap in between the pillars with smooth sandstone all the way around. In the gap in the middle of the 2 slabs that you just placed, add another 2.5 block high column using smooth sandstone. and then join them together at each side using smooth sandstone blocks. This will be the entrance to the base. Fill in each side with light blue stained glass apart from the side that is on the back of the pyramid. This glass is just to stop the water from flowing back in once we clear it all out. On the side that is facing the back, just add 2 blocks of light blue stained glass on each side, as this is where the entrance and exit of the base will be. After this, fill in the final side with light blue stained glass. Once you have done this, go back round to the entry point and add oak signs as shown. This will stop the water from flowing in but will still allow you to move in and out of the base. And that is the full exterior build of the pyramid complete. We'll now move on to removing the water from the inside. On the inside of the pyramid, add a floor using smooth sandstone that is in line with the longest part of the larger windows on the sides of the build. Don't forget to leave any feedback or build requests in the comments section below. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos, so if there's anything else you'd like to see, just let me know. We'll now start removing the water from inside the build. The easiest way to do this is by walling off smaller sections and removing the water by using sponges, which is what I'm doing here. It's best to start at the top and work your way down so that the water doesn't fill back in. I'm going to repeat this process until the whole of the room is free from water. This does take quite a while to do, which is why I've sped this part up. After you've managed to get rid of all of the water, remove the wall sections that you've put up. I've built mine out of sand so that I can quickly remove the walls by breaking the bottom block and placing a torch. Now we need to do the same on the bottom level of the pyramid. This is a lot larger, so you'll need to make quite a few smaller sections in order to get rid of all of the water. If you don't have any sponges, another way to remove the water is by filling the entire space with blocks, such as sand, but this would take a very long time. You can find sponges in ocean monuments, but be careful collecting them as they spawn guardians, which can make it quite difficult. Once all the water is gone, remove the wall sections and then we can move on to decorating the interior of the build. Make sure that you're lighting everywhere up as you go along so that mobs don't start spawning inside the pyramid. We'll start by decorating the interior of the upper floor first. This will be for crafting and smelting. Dig out a 4x4 block section in the middle of the room in line with the gap above. You can use blocks to see if you've done this correctly. After this, replace the outside of the square with smooth red sandstone all the way around. Then add 2 more layers next to these that go in by a block on each side to create a triangular shape. Do this on all sides to complete the floor decoration in this room. As you can see, there's water dripping from the sandstone blocks that make up the walls. To stop this from happening, I'm going to add sandstone slabs underneath all of the wall blocks, taking care not to place any over the windows. If you don't mind the water dripping, then you can skip this step. Alternatively, you could just turn off the animation in the video settings to stop seeing it altogether. We can now start building the crafting and smelting areas. 1 block away from the top of the window, add a stripped oak column. Do this again on the other side and add another column in between these, as shown. Then add some lighting next to these and remove the flooring behind the columns, starting at the edge of the window and going across diagonally to the other side. This is just to open the build up a bit from below. Add an oak slab on the top half of the log and another next to this, then add 2 more half a block up and repeat back down to the other side. In between the columns, add some more oak slabs spaced apart for some extra detail. We're then going to repeat this design again in all of the other corners. If you've ever built anything from one of my tutorials, then tweet me with your screenshots. I'd love to see what you've all built. You can find the link to my Twitter in the description box below. Remove the corner of the floor and then place down the oak slabs in the middle and across the top in an arch again. At the window that's in the corner of the room, place the oak columns 1 block away from the top of the side windows but skip out the middle column here. Remove the floor that's behind these columns the same as you did for the other corners and join them together across the bottom with oak slabs. Make sure that the floor is in line with the oak slabs to make it look neater and to open up the room more. After this, build the same arch that we did in the other corners of the room. Finally, build 1 more arch in the remaining corner and we can begin decorating the room. If you don't have any sea lanterns, you can use another block of choice, such as shroomlight or glowstone for this build, or even torches. I've just used sea lanterns to keep a bit of an underwater theme going, but other light sources would work fine as well. Next to the column where the side window is, add some oak slabs connecting it to the window, then build across using oak slabs and do the same on the opposite side to create a shelf. Now repeat this design between each of the columns around the room. Don't worry if the floor in some parts isn't perfectly symmetrical. This is because of the large window that we built at the front of the pyramid. Keep going round until you've built all 4 shelves, and then we can build the crafting and smelting areas. On top of 3 of the shelves, add furnaces, blast furnaces and smokers to create the smelting and cooking areas. On the remaining shelf, add an anvil, a smithing table, a crafting table and a brewing stand. Add some barrels in the corners of the room where we built the arches to add some extra detail and to also add some more storage space. Place them pointing in different directions to make them look more natural. Finally, add a light source block with an oak trapdoor to the ceiling in each corner of the room to make sure that the room is well lit. And that is the crafting and smelting room completed. We can now move on to creating the staircase that goes through the middle of the build. Jump down to the bottom floor and dig out the 4 blocks in the middle, directly underneath the hole in the upper floor. Again, you can check this is correct by using blocks. Add light sources inside this hole as water will be flowing into here and it will create a nice glow. Now replace the floor around the hole with smooth red sandstone, the same as we did above. Bring out each corner around the square to mark out where we'll be adding the next layer of smooth red sandstone. Do this all the way around and then fill in the area in between with smooth red sandstone to create the second layer. After this, add a final layer which comes in by 1 block on each side to finish off the pattern. Stand facing the main window and replace the block on the left of the square with smooth quartz, then start the staircase going up by half a block each time. Apart from on the first side, the staircase will have 4 steps on each side, creating a spiral staircase going around the square in the centre of the build. Continue the staircase all the way up to the top of the build and it should end up in line with where you added the signs earlier. If it doesn't, don't worry, just move the signs to where the staircase ends and replace the other side with glass. At the very top of the build, add water into the 4-block gap so that it flows down between the staircase and into the hole at the bottom. If your pyramid is completely underwater, then just let the water flow down here from the ocean. We can now start building and decorating the bottom floor of the build. Start by adding a layer of smooth sandstone slabs in front of the main window, the same as we did on the outside of the build. After this, dig out a 2-block wide section in the floor going around the whole of the room. If you're enjoying the video so far or building this in your own Minecraft world, then don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. Make sure that the inside of the hole is sand to make it look neater. After you've dug the hole, fill it all in with water. You can easily do this with just 2 buckets of water. All you have to do is place one and then place another so that there's a 1-block gap in between. Then take the water from the gap in the middle and keep repeating this pattern and then it will all fill in as you go around. Double check that you haven't missed any blocks and then add some lighting in the water. I've just added sea lanterns in the corners and the middle of the walls, but you could use any light source you wanted, even sea pickles. Do this all the way around the room to create a nice glow coming from the water which provides light to the rest of the room. After this, use bone meal inside the water to add seagrass, and if you're in a warm ocean biome, it will also add coral. Make it look a bit more natural by removing some of the seagrass if a lot has appeared in one place to break it up a bit. Adding the water around the outside just adds a nice bit of decoration and brings some of the ocean outside into the base. Finally, if you have some, add tropical fish into the water to finish it off. Place them spaced out, going all the way around the room so they don't all clump together in one spot. We can now move on to building the rest of the room, starting with finishing off the area around the staircase. Add a border of smooth sandstone stairs around the outside of the smooth red sandstone that we placed down earlier. This is to add a bit more depth and to create a clear divide between the middle and the rest of the room. Keep going all the way around until you get to the start again. In the middle block between the stairs, add a block of cut sandstone with 3 blocks of smooth sandstone on top and then a final block of cut sandstone to create a pillar. Repeat this in all 4 corners so that you have 4 pillars around the middle of the room. We're now going to join them all together with arches. 1 block below the top of the pillar, make a block using smooth sandstone slabs and repeat this going half a block up until you reach the ceiling. Here, add a 2nd block next to this and then go back down to the other side. Repeat this on all 4 sides to create a nice centerpiece which also looks like it's holding the floor above it up. This design also goes nicely with the theme of the build as it looks like an old part of the pyramid that has stayed intact which we have then built around. I'm now going to add smooth sandstone slabs underneath all of the sandstone blocks on the walls to stop the dripping. Like I said earlier, this is optional and you can just turn off this animation if you'd prefer. After this, we can move on to creating the storage area. Check the graphic at the start to see the layout for this room. Next to the top of the side window, add a stripped oak column. Add a second smaller one block back from this, connecting to the wall. 3 blocks away from the side window on the shorter wall, add the same stripped oak columns again and join them together in the middle with oak slabs that are spaced apart. Bring the bottom slab out to create a shelf that the chests will go on. Do this on both sides. In the middle, behind the slabs, add another light source and make the corner a bit smoother. Then add another stripped oak column in between the slabs that joins to the wall above. After this, replace the sand behind with smooth sandstone to make it neater, as the rest of the floor will be replaced with this at the end. Now add chests on top of the oak slabs. I've done forwards facing double chests, but there's also room for sideways facing chests if you want more storage space. Add some more oak slabs on either side of the oak column for an extra bit of detail. And then continue adding as many chests as you need on top of the rest of the oak slabs. I've kept the design quite simple here so that it's more practical and useful for your base. Finally, join the oak columns together at the top with oak slabs. After you've done that, dig out the area in between the 2 furthest oak columns in the shape of a curve as shown and replace with smooth red sandstone. This is to create an accent in the floor to separate it from the rest of the room and to also break it up a bit. Fill in the gap with smooth red sandstone, including the area underneath where the chests have been placed to finish off the storage area. Add some extra light sources in the floor and cover them with orange carpet. You can just use torches here as the carpet can be placed on top to cover them up. We can now move on to the enchantment area. Next to the top of the large side window, add a stripped oak column with a smaller column behind, the same as we did for the storage area. Repeat this on the other wall to the right. Now replace the sand at the sides of the water with smooth sandstone and add a light source. You can also add some light sources in between the oak columns. After you've done this, add some oak slabs spaced apart in between the oak columns on both sides and add another column in the middle. Then join it all together with oak slabs coming across at the bottom and again at the top. Now remove the floor underneath the oak slabs and replace with smooth red sandstone. Then do the same for the rest of the floor here, coming across diagonally between the columns as shown. We can now build the enchantment area. Add bookshelves in the formation shown in front of the oak slabs and then place a light source and an enchantment table in the middle. Placing the bookshelves like this will allow you to get the level 30 enchantments. Finally, add a grindstone and we can move on to the bedroom. Add the oak columns next to the window again here, the same as we've done previously, and then add another oak column in the corner. After this, go behind and add a light source, then replace the ground with smooth sandstone around to the other side, just like we have done in the other sections. Then count 4 blocks away from the corner column and place 2 stripped oak logs with an oak slab on top. After this, count across by another 3 blocks and place an oak column reaching up to the top of the wall with another smaller column placed behind it. Then come back to the right hand side and add 2 more smaller columns as shown 1 block and 2 blocks away from the other columns. Then fill in the gaps at the back and sides with stripped oak logs with oak slabs on top, leaving a 2 block gap at the right hand side so that you can walk through to the water. At the front, add a light source with oak slabs on top. And do this again in the space next to this. Go round to the far left side and add an oak slab in between the columns at the top to create a doorway. Then bring more oak slabs across here to create a shelf. We can now remove the floor in a curved shape again between the columns and replace it with smooth red sandstone. This is the last time that we'll be doing this. Fill in both of the sections with smooth red sandstone and then go round to the back and replace any of the remaining ground with smooth sandstone. This is to create a walkway around the water here. We will now start decorating the bedroom area. Add 2 red beds in the middle and then create tables on either side using upside down oak stairs. Then decorate using a flower pot and a lantern. Now go round to the other side and add a light source in the floor and cover it with carpet. After this, add an ender chest with a couple of armour stands on the shelf. Finally, add a few smooth sandstone slabs at the top of the columns to neaten it up a bit. And that is the bedroom design finished. We can now move on to the farms. In the space between the bedroom and the enchantment area, mark out an area for the farm to go in using oak slabs as shown and then fill in the ground with dirt. I've added the farm so that the empty space in front of the windows can be turned into something useful. Remove a couple of blocks and add a light source, some water and a lily pad on top. This will provide the crops with enough light and water so that they're able to grow down here. After this, plant any crop of your choosing. I've planted carrots and added some sugarcane by the water at the back of the farm, but you can plant whatever crops you like. We're now going to do the exact same design in the gap in between the storage and enchantment areas. I've sped this bit up because we'll just be copying the design that we did for the farm that we've just built. I've chosen to plant wheat and sugarcane in this farm, but like I said before, you can plant whatever crops you like. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as mine. And that's all of the interior build complete. We'll now add a few bushes for decoration. Place a cauldron and then add a couple of leaf blocks on top. Do this in a few spots around the build to add a bit more colour. Finally, the last thing to do is to replace all of the remaining ground with smooth sandstone. You can also add a couple more light source blocks in the floor if you need some extra light. And that is the entire underwater base build finished. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. I'd just like to say thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed recently, and also thank you if you stuck around to the end of this video. Don't forget to leave a like if you've enjoyed this video and write any feedback that you have in the comments section below.